Hello, beautiful souls. I invite you to find a comfortable seat, preferably sitting on the floor. And close your eyes, please, and settle in with your breath. So setting the foundation for our practice. Bring your attention to the lower pelvis, creating the pelvic triangle that expands from the pubic bone to the hips and then crosses just below the belly button. So this is where the living balloon starts. In this practice, you'll hear me referring to the living balloon, the lower belly triangle, the heart triangle, and the throat triangle. So, pubic triangle starts from the pubic bone towards the hips, crosses below the belly button. The heart triangle starts from the belly button and then moves out to the sides towards the shoulders and then crosses below the collarbone. The throat triangle starts at the collarbones and then expands outwards towards the top of the head. Okay, so closing your eyes, resting your hands lightly on your knees. Taking your attention to that lower pubic triangle, lifting the lower belly towards the ribs, setting the foundation for the space that holds and supports the heart. Taking a breath in, lifting your chest, and then leaning backwards until you find a shake, until you find that space where the body holds you up. If you need to lift your knees a little bit, but try to work against the resistance, reaching the knees away from the hips. Now, as you keep breathing in, lift and extend, reaching your heart away from your hips. Then drawing your attention to the throat triangle, trying to hollow this space at the front of the throat where the collarbones meet. Drawing your tongue back and up gives you that lengthening, that expansion. And it may feel like someone has a string at the back of your head and they are lifting you up, extending your spine by pulling on the string. Then imagining someone has hold of the head at the back of the head and you are leaning against that hand. Keep breathing in and letting it go through the mouth. Taking your attention to your inner ankles. Let your breath flow up through that inner fountain line from inner ankle to inner knee, to inner thigh, to inner pelvis, into the pubic triangle, the belly triangle, into the ocean of the belly. Draw that breath a little further up into the space of the heart triangle. Now let the heaviness of your heart rest in the support of the belly triangle, that pubic triangle. So not collapsing, not down, keeping a proud chest, but let the essence of the heaviness of your heart rest in the support of what is beneath it, the living balloon. Drawing the throat triangle up and back. Letting your breath slowly release through the mouth. See if you can lean a little further back, finding that resistance, finding the shake. Let the belly triangle hold you up. Let that belly triangle support you. Let that belly triangle carry the weight of the heart above it, holding it, supporting it, protecting it. Now let the strength of the heart support the throat triangle above it, hollowing out this front part, drawing the tongue back and up. And letting the breath slowly release through the mouth, breathing out through dragon eyes. Take one more strong breath in. Drawing your breath to the back of the mind and then holding your breath there. And while you hold, imagine that the breath keeps drawing up through that inner fountain line, feeding into the mind space, filling the cave of the skull. Keeping the belly triangle connected and the heart triangle above it and the throat triangle above that. These are all connected, all working in unison. And then letting your breath slowly go. Now keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands forward in front of you. Tensing up the arms, tensing up your fingers, tensing up the shoulders and the elbows. And keeping the lift of the lower belly and the heart connection. You are both the resistor and that which you are resisting. Now softly curl your fingers in and create tension in the hands. And from that tension, try and move your arms. Try and turn your wrists. Try and move your elbows. Try and move your shoulders. You are resisting that turn, that twist, that move. Keeping the lower belly lifted and the heart lifted above it. Now work against that resistance. Keep breathing in and out through the nose and the mouth. Breathing up through inner fountain line. And letting the breath go through dragon eyes. Now lessen the hold a little bit, but keep some of that resistance. Remember that you are both the resistor and the resisting. And then start turning the wrists. Making your hands more like dragon claws. And then bringing your elbows in. Moving against the resistance that you are creating. And then bringing your shoulders in. As if you want to break free from something. Moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften and gather. On your inhale, raise the chest. And on your exhale, fly your arms. Gather in, hands at goblet heart. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to spread your wings. One more time, gather in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, pull your arms apart. Touch the earth in front or beside you. Let the sense of your touch delight the earth as if you are touching something sacred, something beautiful, something precious. Keeping your eyes closed, stay in that deeper place that the breath and the resistance has brought you to. Take one more deep breath in. And let it go. Allowing darkness to meet light. When you are ready, open your eyes. So we're going to move a little bit into the double breath. If you haven't practiced it with me before, you're going to take a deep inhale, top it up a little bit, breathing in through the nose, and then breathing out through the mouth. So if you're unsure, let me quickly show. It's going to be okay. So close your eyes. Take a full breath in to prepare, and a full breath out to let it go. And we begin. At the last out breath, let everything go, lifting your lower belly, supporting the heart space. Let your natural breath return. When you are ready, again let darkness meet light, but staying in that place that the breath guided you to, experiencing, being. So moving into our next session, waking up the lymphatic system. So bring a soft right fist towards the left collarbone, starting off as a gentle introduction, and lightly start tapping. So the movement comes from the wrist. It's not the whole arm moving, it's just the wrist. Maybe exploring a little bit deeper, letting the tap get a little bit heavier. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hand there, keeping the connections. Moving that soft but heavy right fist to the space below the shoulder, just above the upper chest. finding that soft space. Lightly start tapping. Introducing yourself first, not overwhelming the system. When you are ready, let that tap become heavier, but keeping a soft, heavy fist. And the movement stems from the wrist, resting the forearm against your chest. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hand there, keeping that connection. Noticing if anything bubbles up to the surface. Not letting the mind go there, but let the experience come up to you, to meet you. Now bring a soft, heavy left fist to the right collarbone, starting off gently, meeting your body, introducing yourself, and then gradually letting that tap become a little bit heavier. Waking up what is beneath the surface of the skin. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hand there. And again, just noticing, not analyzing, not searching for, but let the experience unfold itself to you. Moving your hand to just below the shoulder joint and above the chest. Soft, heavy left fist to the space just below the right shoulder joint. Introducing yourself softly and gently. When you are ready, exploring a little more if you need to. Stay here. Or maybe you make that introduction a little deeper, a little heavier. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hand, keeping that connection. Noticing, experiencing, breathing, being. Keeping eyes closed, bring both your hands to the center of the chest, along the sternum. One fist on top of one another, soft but heavy hands. Start tapping. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hands there. As you breathe in, open your eyes. Bring soft but heavy fists to the outside of the neck. Softly tapping into the space, exploring it, and then closing your eyes to experience it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hands there, uncurling your fists, wrap your fingers around the back of the neck. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Sliding your fingers, so thumbs press against the lower jaw, and your fingers curl around the jawline. Slowly start pressing, tapping into that space, moving from the outside in and from the inside out. Just noticing if you are collapsing in the shoulders, lifting the chest. Let your lower belly support the ribs above it. If your eyes are open, maybe close your eyes, please. Internalizing this experience. And finding deeper, interesting spaces. Maybe moving one hand and then the other. Maybe moving both together. Whatever works for you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your index finger to the outside of the nostrils, tracing the smile line as you breathe out. Slide your fingers from the outer nostril to the chin. Outer nostril to the chin. Outer nostril, tracing the smile line. And you're welcome to open and close the mouth here. Now moving in opposite directions. Again, just noticing if you did collapse into the shoulders, collapse into the belly, sliding your fingers up and down through the smile lines for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With your right index finger curling it slightly in, taking it to just outside the right nostril, sliding it down underneath the cheekbone and then sliding it up towards the temple. With your left hand just holding onto the bridge of the nose if you need to. Right curled index finger slides down and then slides up, framing that cheekbone. Four, 3, 2, 1. Curl your left index finger in, right hand maybe holds onto the bridge of the nose, sliding that curled index finger and tracing the outline of your cheekbone, so moving down and up towards the left temple, outside of the bridge of the nose, sliding down and up, down and up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both index fingers now, from the outside of the nostrils, sliding them up towards the eyebrows. So you can do both together, or you can alternate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your thumbs to the eye sockets, so the inner side of the eye socket. Your index and middle fingers presses the fleshy part of your eyebrow between thumb, index, and middle finger, moving from the inside out. Four, 3, 2, 1. Extending index and middle finger, bringing them to the center of the forehead, sliding them up towards the hairline, and then sliding them down, tracing your hairline, moving up behind the ear, and then sliding down the back of the ear towards the collarbone. Center of forehead, slide up, tracing the hairline towards the temple, slide it behind the ear, and then framing the back of the ear towards the collarbones. 5, slide up, trace the hairline, round the back of the ear, and slide it down. 4, 3, 2, slide up to hairline, trace the hairline towards the temple, slide around the back of the ear, and trace it down to the collarbone. 1 more time, slide up, trace the hairline towards the temple, slide around the back of the ear, and trace it down towards the collarbones. Now making dragon claws with your hands, wrapping the hands around the back of the neck. So I just want to turn to the side. Hopefully you can see. So where the occipital bone, the skull axis, meets the cervical spine axis, press your thumbs into the back of the skull to actively press it there. Curl your fingers around and then start circling. Moving in one direction and then maybe the opposite direction, exploring the skull. Keeping your eyes closed so that you internalize this experience, that it is a felt experienced for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, bed head. So it's supposed to be looking like that. It means that you did it right. Okay, so noticing what bubbles to the surface, noticing what is felt, what is experienced. Again, not trying to analyze it with the mental mind, but feeling it from what is beneath the surface of your skin. Close your eyes for a moment. Now breathing in, lift and lengthen. Lean backwards against this resistance you are creating, bringing soft but heavy fists. So if you travel down the sternum notch, you'll find the floating ribs. Moving 2 fingers to the outside, should be more or less to the outside of the belly button. start tapping into that space. So it could be both together, or you can alternate the hands. Circling down and up. Leaning back into the resistance you are creating. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finding your hip creases. Lightly tapping into those hip creases, working into the inguinal area. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your hands there for a moment. And again, allowing whatever needs to bubble up to the surface, allowing that to happen. Now extend your legs forward in front of you. Coming to the backs of the knees. Prodding, pushing into the space at the back of the knees. Then raise the right leg. Tapping at the back of the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise the left leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross your ankles. Finding that spot about 2 finger widths above the ankle bone with a flat palm. Slapping for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So bringing your right foot up, curling your toes in. I hope you can see. So curling the toes in, you'll see there's a little indent between the second and the big toe. Pressing into that spot known as kidney 1 or this bubbling spring. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and let it go. Finding the same spot on the left foot. First curling your toes in, finding that little indent between big toe and second toe. So make sure it is at the ball of the foot. Then relaxing the toes and pressing down. So this meridian is one of the most important meridians in the body. Known as the bubbling spring, it's where the energy enters the body. It's your first connection to the sacred element of the earth. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and letting it go. Closing your eyes, lean forward, and again touch the earth as if it is something sacred, something precious, something new, and something to explore. Let the essence of your breath flow from the inner ankle to the depths of the skull. And softly let it go through the mouth. Deep breath in. Draw your breath up through that inner fountain line. Fill the cavity of the skull. And softly let it go. Deep breath in. Following that breath, following that inner fountain line path. Allowing that breath to flow through the ocean of your belly, into the cage of your heart, and into the cave of your skull. And hold your breath there. Take one more sip, and one more, and one more, and let it go. Allow darkness to meet light, and open your eyes. Allowing the experience to unfold in front of you. Again, not naming, labeling, chasing, searching for it. Allowing it to come to you. You may not notice anything physically happening, but I can promise you, it is there. It is in the depths of you that this unfolding is starting to take place. Where the parts of you that you have forgotten are coming up for a breath of air. Now close your eyes for a moment again. See if you can sense anything. Open your eyes.